At this time, the Laverne Planning Commission has a public hearing set for July 28th at 6 p.m. We call the public hearing to order at this time. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this resolution to amend the section 4-108 on the subdivision regulations and relate to sidewalk regulations for commercial and industrial plats? All right, at this time we call the meeting adjourned. How about that? This time, the Laverne Planning Commission brings the regular meeting at 6 o'clock to order. Approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve minutes. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. At this time, the board would like to recognize we have an alderman with us today, Ms. Caesar Mosley. Glad to have her here. This time we're going to old business. Mr. Green.
Yes, sir, Chairman. First item we have on the agenda is that resolution that we just had the public hearing for. It's an amendment to for the subregs, eliminating the sidewalk requirements for commercial industrial plats. The thing to be noted on this is it's still required for major residential subdivisions and all new development at site plan stage. So this just eliminates that for commercial industrial plats.
So that all these changes, the ones we discussed at the workshop, they're included within this?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Let Mr. Chair make a motion to recommendation to accept the resolution as submitted.
I'll second.
Accept or send a
Sorry, it's going to be
accept?
approval.
Approval, okay. All right, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes as the plat is read. Do we have a second?
Second.
Just let me say that. So we're going to make a resolution to recommend, not recommend, but to approve the Planning Commission Resolution 2009-01.
All right. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, opposed. We're all twisted up today for some reason. All right, we got a site plan, Morningside Acres, lot 89A drainage plan.
Yes, sir, Chairman. This is the resubmittal of that drainage plan for lot 89A at Morningside. They've provided information that we requested. Everything looks to be acceptable. And the plan shows a grass line ditch rather than the concrete ditch that was approved prior. So everything is in order.
So from the workshop, the calculations worked out okay?
Yes, all items that were shown at the workshop or have been addressed, and everything looks good.
Mr. Motion, I'll make Chairman a motion to accept the site plan Morningside Acres as submitted.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to accept the Morningside Acres site plan as submitted. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Third on the item, recommendation to Board of Mayor and Alderman, rename New Paul Road and Mason Drive to New Paul Road and add Mason Drive as a private street within the Cedar Ridge apartment complex.
Yes, sir, Chairman. This is the issue we discussed where New Paul Road becomes Madison Drive, right at the Reliance Drive intersection over close to the Cedar Ridge Apartments. We've had numerous suggestions on this change, and I think the last we discussed and what would appear to be the easiest is rename that Madison Drive section to New Paul Road and assign a private drive to the Cedar Ridge apartment complex and call it Madison, thereby avoiding a address change for that apartment complex. But there's
911 and all that and everything. Why?
Yes, sir. Everybody's seems to think that'll work. Talked to Cassie Lowry at the county, and she was fine with that. But that's right about that area. That's where it changes into Madison Drive. That's that section that's the section in question.
So it doesn't impact any banks, financial institutions, or mortgages that won't affect it in the name change?
Not that I'm aware of. That's basically the only address changes we would have would be the pump station and the Nacarado site, which just has a temporary building that hasn't gotten a certificate of occupancy yet.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to make a favourable recommendation to Mayor and Alderman to rename of the road to Newport Road, the entire length as submitted.
Okay, we have a recommendation on the floor to rename, the center favor recommendation to Mayor and Alderman to rename the New Paul Road and Madison Drive to New Paul Road, and add Madison Drive as a private street. And do we have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Likewise. New business recommendation to Board of Mayor and Alderman, accept subdivisions.
Yeah, Chairman, Kyle's done most of the work on this and put this together. I ask that he go through and explain that
Mr. Chairman, this is what's been discussed probably last couple months at the Planning Commission workshops, was bringing the subdivisions, the phases in that we don't have bonds and miscellaneous things like that for to get accepted by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. What we've got together is a list. On this list, there's 121 subdivisions that's phases or minor plats, miscellaneous plats, things like that that's on the list. The list is dated or titled Subdivision Acceptance List 7/28/09. I think all of you have that in your packet. Like I say, this is the same list that we've been looking at for a couple months now. Mike Jenkins has went out and looked at all the subdivisions, the ones that's on the list. Basically, we've looked at them to make sure that, you know, the utilities and the asphalt, as far as the topping of the pavement and things like that's been taken care of, sidewalk and anything that's on this list, those items have been taken care of. So that's what's in front of us.
It says page 104, is that the page itself here?
Yeah, that's the actual page there.
yeah, there's
Are these others, or is not the,
No, it's all 4 pages.
all 4 pages?
Yeah, there's 121 actually on there, so,
Okay, so all 4 pages, all right.
correct.
Is any of these phases there, have any drainage problems?
Not any major drainage problems that we know of. I'm sure there might be some, ditch lines that might be filled in, because some of these are 10 years old or older, so there's probably some ditch lines that's partially filled in or might have some slight ponding or something like that. But as far as major issues, we've not found anything on these. That's what I was saying about Mike's went out and looked just to make sure that in general, anything that's supposed to be installed was installed. So any major drainage structures that were shown on these plats, they have been installed. Like I say, over time though, in 10 years and some of them maybe even 15, you're going to have some sediment that's, that starts building up in the pipes and things like that's probably present. But any major issues
Due to maintenance.
Yeah, most of them would be maintenance issues, just for how old it is. There's nothing here probably that's not typical for a subdivision or a phase that's this old. Most of it is typical for what you see in areas that's this old. So
We verified that each one of these, that all the blacktop final coats are in place, and everything's.
Yes.
Well, this makes it a lot easier to keep up with on Mike, get all this stuff taken care of.
Right.
Keep up, we've been keeping up with the bonds very well. Now, so we'll do that.
Mr. Chairman, we discussed this the last several months, and I think staff's done a good job putting this together, and I'll make a motion to send a favourable recommendation to accept the list dated 7/28, 121 lots, or 121 section phases.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to send a favorable recommendation to the mayor and alderman to accept the subdivision of 4 pages. At this time, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any more discussion at this time? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All disapprove, all ayes and no, so we got it. Bonds, letters, and credits.
Mr. Chairman, you should have a bond sheet in front of you. We've got one that's set to expire August 3rd. I've been in contact with the bank today, and I should have that documentation either tomorrow or Thursday at the latest, she said. So looks like that's going to get taken care of, and everything else is up to date.
Have more discussion at this time for this board. Do we have a motion to adjourn?